This was a street fight, bitch. Democratic debate night. This was the NBC debate. The Nevada caucuses, bitch. I'm gonna wait for everybody to get in. Niece. Okay, so here's the thing. And first off, hi everyone. Everybody's logging in. I know we just got finished. I wanted to kind of log in immediately while everything was still in my head and I could really recap. Here's the thing. I don't want to use the word entertaining because the state of our country is not entertainment. But tonight was entertaining, bitch. Like, tonight, you saw more than just the claws come out. You saw certain people know they on the ropes at this point. Certain people know it's almost over for them. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to go down the line. But I'm going to start with the first Elizabeth Warren bitch. Now, as those of you who may have figured it out by now, y'all know I like Elizabeth Warren. I would probably vote for her if she got the nomination. The problem is I know she's not going to get the nomination. But for what it's worth, Elizabeth Warren is the Jessica Fletcher of the Democratic this election season, honey. Okay? Number one, you can't, she said the lady healthcare plan was 2 paragraphs and a post-it note. I've never seen a woman, just whoever's on her team, her comebacks. Here's the thing, with Elizabeth Warren, it's not an issue of can she compete with Donald Trump in a debate. I don't question if she can do that. I know she can do that. That's been her consistent strong point for me. Elizabeth can debate Donald Trump. Some people may not agree with that, but after tonight and after reviewing her whole debate run, since these debates have started for this election cycle, Elizabeth has been consistent, bitch. And that's just fact. She ain't have no cut cards for nobody. The only person who she did not really come for was Bernie Sanders. I honestly, and I said this at the beginning of the election season, I truly believe that Bernie and Elizabeth had a conversation when this shit started kicking off at the beginning of the election cycle and said, look, bitch, we gonna ride it out together. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. We gonna take these motherfuckers out till it get down to the nitty gritty, then all butts are off. The problem is, Bernie is a front runner at this point. He just is. Elizabeth is on the ropes. And I don't think she's on the ropes because she's not a good candidate. I don't think that Elizabeth Warren is a bad candidate. I just don't think that. I think she's on the ropes because, quite frankly, I can see how, looking at Elizabeth Warren, she's just that lady, like I said online, she's that parent at the PTA meeting that shows up with a pad and just tries it. She always up at the school board, bitch at every function. She's that lady at work that's keeping track of your occurrences, how many times you done called out late and shit. You know what I'm saying? She's that girl. And unfortunately, I don't think that girl translates to mass America. Okay? But I will say this. If I'm president or I do get the nomination, I want Elizabeth Warren in my corner. If nothing else but for fact checking. I would hire Elizabeth Warren for that. For debate strategy, fact checking, and thinking quick on her feet. Elizabeth Warren is probably the top in the field when it comes to that. I have no question about it. Unfortunately, Elizabeth Warren is a woman. Unfortunately, Elizabeth Warren is a woman that, to me, like I said, to mass America, will not be liked by everyone. So that's the issue if you're trying to get those swing voters or people that may be thinking about changing their minds. that's her issue. I don't think, I hate to say it, Elizabeth Warren, I don't think that you're not qualified for the job. I don't think that you don't have a plan. You got plans for everything, bitch. I just don't think that you have that extra special something that will make people vote for you on a mass level for this. Her dragging of Michael Bloomberg was something to behold. And she did it several times. But that first dragging, honey, but I just knew she was getting ready to talk about Donald Trump. When she said horse-faced lesbians, bitch, I fell out. Get me out the chair, bitch. Get me out the chair. And when she said, I'm talking about Michael Bloomberg, I was like, hold the fuck up. Hold up. Bars, bitch. She needs to be a rapper. I'm ready for the mixtape. I'm ready for the Elizabeth Warren mixtape, bitch. Okay? Michael Bloomberg, like, immediately from the gate, I feel like you can see it was a general consensus amongst the candidates that everybody was going to drag Michael Bloomberg. And they did. And they called him to task on a lot of things that they should have called him to task for. I personally think, yes, it's great that Michael Bloomberg is giving away his money. Yes, it's great that you have started businesses and you know how to run a business. But we have a candidate in the House, in the White House now, who ran on that platform of, I know business, I know business, I know business. Yes, bitch, you know business, but there are things in the government that's in place that could teach basically the president how to run the fucking business of the country, bitch. I don't give a fuck that you know how to set up Walmarts and corner stores and shit, bitch. Can you run the motherfucking country? And the problem is, can you govern for all? You had the opportunity to do that in New York City, but instead of governing for all, you governed and cracked down and were very harsh on people of color. You know, when I think of Michael Bloomberg, I think of, in the policies that he enacted, I think about Eric Garner. You know what I'm saying? I think about those types of people. You know, and that's not something that we can just skate by. The fact that Michael Bloomberg basically paid his way into this debate, and you can finesse it however you want. He basically paid his way into this debate, and just getting into the campaign, that's scary for me. I like that he is spending his own money, but that's the same thing once again. We're going to do some parallels here. Trump was the same one in the beginning saying that he's spending his own money. Donald Trump said that same fucking thing. Okay? Let's not forget that, folks. Donald Trump said the same thing. When he talked about his taxes, that was scary to me because it was like I was looking at the same candidate, but with less finesse and showmanship. Okay? When he said, oh, my taxes are complicated, I can't just go to TurboTax, blah, 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 that scared me. Okay? And that's not something that we should be making light of because we have, once again, a president in office now who did that same exact thing. When Elizabeth pulled down receipts, I think they got together. I think everybody on the panel, with the exception of maybe Buttigieg, but all of the older heads, Klobuchar, Biden, Bernie, I think it was a general consensus. It would not surprise me if they got together and said, bitch, Elizabeth, you sparked this shit the fuck off, bitch, and we going to tee off on his ass. We going to follow up. Because when Elizabeth did that shit about the non-disclosures, bitch, I gagged. Okay? I gagged. Well, let's hear from those, and he couldn't respond to that. He really couldn't. And the thing that I liked about this debate, first off, it was a fucking street fight. Tonight was a street fight, bitch. Ain't no two ways to do it, to put it, to say it. Otherwise, tonight was a street fight. And you got a lot of real talk tonight. It was still your traditional political dancing, but you got some straight shots out this motherfucker that I didn't think I was going to see. And it was a lot due to Elizabeth Warren. But it's a lot of things, even Bloomberg's disposition. And, I don't even want to say as a person of color or as a black person, because it's black people that love Trump. It's black people, people of color, who support him wholeheartedly. But me, as Emmanuel, as a person, every day, Baltimore City, it is something about Bloomberg's disposition that sends off internal tribal alarms in me that just says that this is not somebody I want sitting in the White House. And the fact that he used to be a Republican and now he changed to Democrat, I am just not. I'm going to go on record, and because I'm going to go on record. I do not support Michael Bloomberg. I don't think that he should be the president, and I'm never going to endorse him. Okay? I'm just not. If you don't like that, just like some people got mad when I posted a clip of Michael Bloomberg, it was him basically saying some things, and they were like, well, it needs to be in context. His record is fucking context. His career is context, bitch. What more context do you need? And they called me irresponsible on Facebook. Yes, I'm addressing it, bitch, since we're up. Since we're awake and it's late, I'm going to address it, okay? And they was like, oh, this is irresponsible and he should do more research, and I'm surprised he didn't look into it. First off, I'm going to say this, bitch. I spend hours out of my day at some of these cabinet meetings researching this fucking information. So don't come for me talking about, bitch, I ain't do my research or I should have did more research. Last time I checked, bitch, you did not drop not one motherfucking dime in my Cash App or my motherfucking Patreon. So first off, pump your fucking brakes. My name is not NPR. I'm not CNN. I'm not fucking whatever podcast you listen to and don't pay for, bitch. I do this because I love the people and I feel like people should be informed. Just because I posted a video, that's what I thought. If you need more context as to why Michael Bloomberg ain't shit, then that's on you, bitch. I'm going to need you to use Google, because it's there, and figure out why he ain't shit. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay? Period. With the T. City Girls. Free JT. Well, she out now, but y'all know what the fuck I mean. Okay? It's too late for that. Alright? Now, moving on. Bernie. Here's the thing with Bernie. Bloomberg did kind of cut Bernie a little bit when he talked about his 3 houses he owned and the fact that he's a millionaire. I was like, oh, bitch. And that's true. That's facts. I think at this point, Bernie is Bernie. Bernie has gotten better at not yelling so much. As far as them, they brought up him not, releasing his health records in full. He did release those 3 doctors' letters. But also, too, like, I just feel like, and this is me being a person that used to work in healthcare, I get it as a president, but that's kind of like ageist to say, well, we need to see all of your medical records and, X, Y, Z. Do I think Bernie's up there? Yes, absolutely. I mean, it is what it is. But he did release the 3 letters, and, I'm not always the biggest Bernie Sanders advocate, but I think that that's a little bit, like, I don't want to say unfair, but it's a little biased. Be like, oh, where's your health records? You asking a man about his health records, but you still voted for a man who didn't show you his fucking taxes. And his financial state far more impacts how you're going to be living more than whether Bernie got a stint or not. HIPAA, bitch. Like, Google that. For the people who don't Google, who don't research. Google that. HIPAA. Okay? Now, I also think that tonight, Bloomberg was definitely the main course as far as the arguments amongst the candidates. But it was interesting to see Pete Buttigieg come into his own. And I'm not the biggest Pete Buttigieg candidate. I know some people out there may be saying, oh, you're gay. Like, you're like, why aren't you like, oh my God, you're not for Buttigieg? First of all, I'm a black man first, in America living in Baltimore City. I don't know shit about where the fuck Pete Buttigieg is from. And Pete Buttigieg, I don't relate, okay? But I will say this. In watching Pete throughout this entire election cycle, a bitch acts different when they got money behind them, okay? And you can tell that he got back in now. He got some coins. You can tell that the shit, he feels that it's actually attainable. Like, I'm not going to say the presidency, but actually getting the Democratic nomination to go against Donald Trump. You can sense that he feels that it's something that is within reach for him. I think he has finally figured out how to harness that even monotone Kennedy-esque kind of thing that he has going on in a way where it's starting to become impactful. Because usually with Pete Buttigieg, the problem I have with him in a debate setting, okay, because this is a debate. We're not talking full-on policy. We're talking policy, but you know what I mean. In a debate setting, Pete tends to fade in the background after a while. You forget that he's there. Now, granted, in the previous debates, because the field was so crowded, that could play a part in it. But also, even outside of that, you see somebody who is starting to come into their own. He's becoming way more forceful and adamant when he speaks. He's starting to put his foot down. And he definitely put his foot down a lot with Bernie Sanders. And I think that's because he understands that Bernie Sanders is the man to beat at this point. And he did a good job at asserting himself. I still don't think it's his turn or his time. I could be wrong. But I definitely do feel like he's setting himself up for a Senate seat, for, a career in government. A long term on a national stage. Amy Klobuchar, I'm surprised she's still here. Not because I feel like she's not capable or she's not articulate enough. Like, the reality is with Klobuchar and with Elizabeth, I hate to say it, the Democratic Party, as far as the whole female candidate thing, blew its load on Hillary. And I'm not saying that's Hillary's fault. For all the Hillary people, I don't want y'all to go crazy in the comments and then I have to drag y'all. But I feel like it's just not going to be a woman. And I don't want to sound like a pessimist, but I'm very realistic. And the reality is both of these ladies, to a certain degree, are very qualified. Okay? But the reality is it's not going to be a woman. It's just not. It's just not. And it's just not. I hate to say that, but that's just what it is. Okay? Amy Klobuchar, her thing is she's won elections in places where she's won over Republican voters and, this, that, and the third. But, honey, that wasn't, for a national election. These are, towns where people kind of already on the fence any goddamn way. It ain't like you went to motherfucking Tennessee, bitch, and you just flipped all of these red voters. Now, you do some shit like that down south, Tennessee, Texas, some shit like that, then I'd be like, yeah, this might be the bitch we need. But you're doing it in states where I can see people flipping if the weather is right and the right person comes along. Okay? That's just what it is. But I don't think it's her time either. I think some people, stop Taco, I think some people know that it's almost towards the end for them because we're getting ready to head into Super Tuesday. And I think Elizabeth Warren, bless her heart, she not going out without a fight. And I love her for that. But tonight was Elizabeth Warren saying, I'm not going quietly. I deserve to be here. I'm qualified to be here. And you're not going to, when I don't get this nomination, you're not going to say it's because I wasn't qualified or I didn't present a plan to you. You're doing it because I was a woman and you just didn't like it coming from me. I don't think that overall, let's see. Overall, I think tonight was great entertainment. I think that we have people who are capable to go against Trump. Do we have people who are capable of changing the minds of some of the Trump voters? I just don't think we have that person. And it's not because these people aren't capable of doing it or because they're bad folks. I just think where we're at as a country and where we're at in the country at this time, people are going to choose the side. They're on the side that they're on. It's very much a I said what I said kind of moment in the country right now. And we're going to have to wait a little bit before the Kumbaya candidate comes. Even if, the Democratic candidate does defeat Trump, you're still going to have the backlash and have to deal with the other half of the country who supports him. Okay. I think that Joe Biden is sinking. I think at this point, he's not doing well enough for the Democratic National Committee to slide the nomination to him. Now, if it was neck and neck, where he was still killing every poll and he was doing very well in these debates, then I could see them sliding the nomination to him. But it's getting to a point now where Joe Biden is not even. He's sinking. He's sinking with the public. He's sinking when he gets on these debate stages. He is sinking. And with Bernie rising the way that he is, and then Buttigieg rising the way that he is, you got people on stage like Elizabeth Warren, who not only is a showman or a showwoman, but also like the biggest fucking fact checker. That bitch is Murder, She Wrote, okay? Like, when you have all of those people on stage, and no shade, even with Bloomberg, you can tell he reads down. He was quiet, and he looked like an ass, but the few times he got his little jabs in, you was like, oh, this queen can read. He reads you down, So being in a presence with folks like that, it's just hard. It's a different type of feel. And I do think also to Pete Buttigieg, they asked I thought it was a very interesting question. They asked him, is he out of touch with his generation, millennials? And I feel like he is. Nothing about Pete Buttigieg says, I'm the young revolutionary candidate. Yes, he's gay. Yes, he served in the military. But nothing about his campaign it doesn't speak to, like when I talk to 20-somethings or even people in their early 30s, they don't say bad things about Pete Buttigieg. They don't have an opinion. And that's not good. Because here's the thing. It's good if people love you or even if they hate you. But when they don't have any opinion or don't feel any kind of way, that means you lack polarity. And a leading figure has to be polarized in some form or fashion. And I don't know when it comes to him on that. But overall, if not for nothing, tonight was entertaining as fuck. But we'll see. It's starting to get down to the wire, folks. So we got Super Tuesday coming up. And we're going to be, in the next couple of months, we're going to have our nominee. for the Democratic Party. So pay attention. Stay posted. Los Angeles, I'm going to be visiting you next week. I'll be right back out in Los Angeles from next Wednesday the 26th until like Sunday. I'll be in LA for a few meetings, and then I'll be in Malibu for the weekend. So if I happen to see you in Malibu, or as I do happen to run into cabinet members outside, please hit me up. And then once again, I'll be in Austin, Texas for South by Southwest, a movie that I'm in. My good friend TT the Artist, that got picked up by Issa Rae's company, guys. So I'm going to be, I'm in that film. It's debuting at South by Southwest. It's an official South by Southwest film debut. So I'm excited to be a part of that and be in that presence with that. But otherwise, if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. If you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you follow me on Instagram at GODDM and Twitter at Uncle Lulu. That's Uncle with a K. My new EP is coming soon, The Ballad of Omar. But all in all, I think, tonight was interesting. You guys have a great evening. Be blessed. It's almost over. We got the weekend coming up. And I love you all. Be blessed and have a safe evening.